Hey guys, I haven't done one of these lives for a very long time. I said in the description of this post what this live is about, and I just want to share with you guys. There's many of you out there that are musicians or that you are inspiring to learn an instrument. You love music, it really moves you, and I just want to take you on a journey and tell you how I create my music and talk about songwriting, talk about how to record tracks, how to lay tracks with your individual instrument parts, how to bring it all together, how to like mix it and master it. And basically you're creating demos of your music. And all of that is preparation. Like, God has a plan and purpose for each one of us. And if you're gifted in the area of music, He's done that. God has given you that because He wants you to use it, period. Like, He doesn't want us to just do things and keep it to ourselves. I hope y'all can see me. I hope this is not too dark of a background. I have some lights on. I might be able to turn. Give me a second. I'm going to turn another one on. See if that brightens it up a little bit. Yeah, He doesn't want us to keep things to ourselves. Like, if He gives you a song, it's because He has people in mind that He wants to be touched by it. That's what I always know. I just know in my heart that when He gives me something, I'm supposed to share it. And even if there's just one person out there that is touched by that, it's well worth the time, the energy, the effort, period. I'm not able to release a lot of my music and songs because it's very costly. I don't have a lot of money to be doing that. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you about how to get the equipment that you need, ways that you can go online, research, go to YouTube, and learn all the things that you need to know, which is what I've done to be able to do what I do. So I guess first of all, I'll just talk about a little bit about my journey with music. I learned to play guitar back in like 2008. So I guess I've been playing for almost 18 years because April of 2008. I had a friend who was at church I was going to, and she's probably, what would she be? She may not be quite 20 years older than me, but somewhere in there. She's been a great mentor and friend. She had Bible studies a lot. She had a Bible study, and there was a couple ladies that were leading worship there. And first of all, I started out leading PowerPoint, leading the slides with the words on there. And then at the time I was singing in the choir at church, and she knew I was into music. I love God, love Christian music. And one of the ladies had another kid, and she had to walk away from leading worship there at the Bible study. Well, there was another lady that played the keyboard, but she didn't sing. And Gail asked me if I would like to help with leading worship. And I said, well, I've sang in the choir and stuff like that, but I've never really went solo with it. But yeah, sure, I'll step in. So at first I didn't even know how to play guitar or anything. And she gave me like the freedom. She sometimes would suggest a song, but she would let me pick out songs that I knew and stuff too. And just get the sheet music, print out sheet music for it, give it to the lady that played the keys. I would get there early and we'd do like a little quick rehearsal. And then, yeah, I would just do it. And I was a little rusty at first, a little nervous, but then I eased into it and started getting real comfortable with it and just really enjoyed it. And, singing for Jesus leading people into God's presence, it's incredible. It's an incredible feeling because you, it shifts the atmosphere. So what it does is it really prepares people's hearts before the message and the Bible and scriptures are read. And it kind of helps prepare your hearts and minds, ridding them of distractions. It brings peace into your heart and your mind. And then it really makes you more open and willing to listen and tune in and be taught, the Word of God, and to grow in your faith. So I continued doing that. The lady that played the keys eventually moved away. So she had her son who played guitar. She had 3 children. They all helped in leading worship. They all were very musically inclined and played instruments and that. And so anyway, her oldest son played guitar. And so he started leading worship with me. And then he went off to college. But during the time he was leading worship, God told me I needed to learn the guitar. Like, I need to know this. It's part of leading worship. You don't have to play an instrument to be on a worship team, but it's fun. I mean, anyways, yeah, if you feel God's calling you to learn an instrument, by all means, do it. You can do it on your own without paying money at all. You can look up guitar for beginners, and you can find free websites that you can print out all the chords. You can learn the chords. You can get on YouTube. I just love YouTube. It's amazing because you don't have to pay a subscription and you get all this information for free. And just like Google will lead you to websites where you can do all this stuff. Thanks for joining. I can't see who it is that just joined on here, but I'll look later. If you comment, wave, say hi. And if you're not able to tune in now, I hope you'll watch later. And I hope you guys can see me okay. I hope it's not too dark in my area. I got some lights on. I got a light up here. But anyway, so I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump into, so if you didn't watch yet my video, my song called Better Off Your Way, I just put it on there last night. I finally got all the video parts done. And then I synced that. I merged it into one video to go along with the audio that I recorded through my system. And the reason I did that is, and I do that, is because the quality of the recording, the song, the quality is so good as far as being able to hear the instruments and like the quality of the bass and just the drums and everything. And I'll teach you how like you can mix all that and talk about it. That quality is much better than if I were to just play an instrument, sing the part, and record it with my phone. The phone qualities are pretty good, with pictures and videos and picking up recordings, but not near as good as when it comes directly into your computer system. So I'm going to jump in. I may have to move my tripod here with my phone on it. I might be moving this around a little bit just to help you see what I'm doing. So first of all, I took a class a couple years ago, and the class was all about how to get your worship music heard. Songwriting and just getting out there without having to have a lot of money to do it. And I want to tell you guys about it because so many of you have a passion for music. You might play an instrument. Maybe you're going to get inspired after watching this to learn one, but you all can do this. Like, I'm not a professional at anything. Like guitar, I'm the most skilled with the guitar. I've learned the keyboard enough to sound pretty good on it most times. I'll tell you, I can do worship on it. A lot of times now, instead of the guitar, I actually love the sounds of the keyboard and what I can, what you can do with the keyboard, the different notes and the different, there's different, what would you call it? There's different buttons on here. So I can do all kinds of different sounds and tones and get so many different sounds out of it. There's bass sounds and there's strings and there's different levels of the piano, different variations. I have percussion. Like, you can actually put it in a drum mode and get drums out of it. That's the way I used to record my music, because I didn't have drum set. Hi, Sadie. Thanks for hopping on, girl. So I'm just talking about, you can read the description and everything, but I'm going to tell people how to create your own songs and music, talk about songwriting, talk about what I have and how I'm able to do what I do. It's not expensive. You may have to save up for a little while to get all the music equipment that you need to do this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It took me some time to accumulate these things. Got my first guitar when I was like 19, and it was electric. I put it under the bed, hardly ever played it. I had no idea what chords were, how to play them. I knew some songs from memory that my dad taught me when I was little. I would just mess around, listen to the radio, and I could just start playing along with it. But I had no idea what chords I was in or anything. I just got it out once in a great while. When the girls were growing up, I'd get it out and mess around with it, play for them something, just whatever, songs that my dad taught me that I just knew from memory. And eventually, as I said earlier, if you missed the first part, you can go back and watch. But when I had a friend had a Bible study and asked me if I would help with leading worship, God told me I had to learn the guitar. Like, I needed to get it out and learn it. And I just sang it first. She had different people that played instruments, so I didn't have to. And then those people were moving away, having kids, and her son went off to college. So I learned it while her son was playing guitar and leading with me. And so I learned on an electric guitar, first of all. Later, I traded it in, got my first acoustic. I had a black Ibanez electric acoustic guitar. And then in 2014, one of my friends, she's like my second mom, mentor. She's amazing. She's the executive producer of the Festival of Praise concerts that we've had down at the river for over 20 years. Just great big Christian concerts. And my husband and I are on her team and the board, you could say. So we haven't done one in a little while. I'm really praying that we can do another one this year. We always have them on Labor Day weekend. We've brought in some major artists. We've had Crowder a couple times. We've had Chris Tomlin. We've had Mercy Me a couple different times. We've had Casting Crowns. I don't remember. Michael W. Smith, he's been here 2 or 3 times. And just amazing. Christian concerts down the river, under the sky, beautiful sunsets and stars come out once it's dark. And it's just so awesome gathering with the body of Christ in this area, region, whatever. People come from a ways away too. But anyway, so I first got guitar, and later, so I've always got like little keyboards for the kids, right? Start out with these little bitty ones and can't do much. They don't have a lot of keys. Then like for Christmas or something, one year, birthday or something, we got a little bit bigger keyboard, and eventually they were pretty decent size, probably like 51 keys or something like that. And Sydney, actually, our youngest daughter, this is so crazy. I saw on Facebook a friend of mine posted about this piano, and it was free. It was at the Salvation Army or something like that, or I think it was at a nursing home or something. Anyway, they were just wanting to give it away for free. All you had to do was come and get it. Well, that cost a little bit of money. We had to get, I think it was called 2 Men in a Truck. And they brought it to her house. It went into our daughter's bedroom. They shared a room, whatever, for a while. And she just, social media. She got on YouTube and whatever, and just taught herself some songs. Like, she'd hear songs on the radio, be like, I want to learn this. I love this song. And she'd look up, started learning the chords and the notes on the keyboard or piano and stuff. And so one of the keyboards we had, she literally took a Sharpie and she wrote all of the letters of what the keys were. So then, having already played guitar and knowing chords on the guitar, and how to sing songs and stuff with that I'd learned. I don't know nothing about, what do you call it? Like the real fancy sheet music that people in orchestras go by, or in the choirs at school and the band and stuff. The kind of music that has like the staffs and all the little notes, and a lot of them have chords above those notes and stuff, but like, I don't know how to read that kind of music. All I do is look up songs, and they have the letters above the lyrics, above the words, and those are chords. There's different notes that make up chords. So when you learn to make the chords on the guitar, you strum it, there's different notes within those chords, but you can do so much by just learning chords and just music with chords. Like, once you learn a few chords, you can play so many different songs. And that's how I first started. So anyway, so I went from learning how to play on an electric guitar, traded it in, got an acoustic, just began leading worship at my friend's Bible study for a number of years. And then she had some prayer meetings and different things. I helped with worship with that. I've done a couple women's retreats, women's conferences, different various events, and like prayer meetings mostly. I like the more intimate settings. I've always had people like, how come you don't try out or get on the worship team at church? I'm like, well, God hasn't really called me to do that. He's called me to do things like making my own music, and I write my own songs that he gives me, and doing stuff on social media like this, like just, putting stuff on there, having times of just teaching a little message or whatever, reading some Bible verses, playing a few songs, just trying to, touch people and point them to Jesus, and have time, help teach them how to make time to just relax, have peace, how you can just let your burdens go, how you can just kind of lay all that aside, lay distractions aside, lay your worries aside, and just relax and tune into God and let him bring peace into your heart and your mind. So after I got my guitars, like I said, we had little keyboards from time, throughout time when the kids were little. But 2 years ago, I saw an ad pop up on Facebook, and it was Luke Anderson. I'm like, who's Luke Anderson? I started looking into it. He's actually a drummer. He's taken time off now because he had brain surgery 2 years ago in December. And so he's not there really playing and stuff on the worship team. But he's with Elevation Worship, and he was the lead drummer for 15 years. And other drummers trained under him. He toured, he, played at the church and stuff. Well, God had called him to do a class and teach people on how to write songs and produce your own music, and how to, record your music, and how to make demos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like what I've dreamed of doing. Like, I've been content leading worship and stuff at places, but I always felt like God had more. And I've been writing songs for a long time. I was even writing them, before that. I have just like a gift of like getting words that rhyme, and start out writing poems and stuff. And then he started giving me songs, and I get the melodies in my head, and then I'd have to record them on my phone or something and sing it. Otherwise I'd forget how it went. It'd just be like lyrics on a page and stuff. So, as I felt him calling me to do more, I see that ad with Luke, and I was like, it was free, right? It was a one day session on get your worship music heard. I'm like, wow, this is Christian. That's what I want to play, is Christian music. That's what I write. And I just know, like, I need resources. I need teachings. I need to learn more. I need knowledge. and I knew God wanted to use him in this to launch me. Like, I'm like, this is it. So I told Kevin, I was like, hey, I want to do this. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a one day seminar. And the way he advertises is like how to get your worship music heard. And then it's like what the music industry doesn't tell you, how you can do these things at low cost, very low cost. Like, you don't have to be rich to be able to have a lot of money to do this stuff. So I did that, and I took a lot of notes. And towards the end of this, what would you call it, a Zoom call or whatever, a class, he talked about this other one. It's called a 5-day challenge. Get your worship music heard 5-day challenge. And I was like, okay. So there's 2 tiers to that. $13 is just for the general audience, those that register for it. And you get 5 days just learning a bunch of stuff, talking about songwriting and all that kind of stuff. Very encouraging. Oh my gosh. Tells so much about the industry. And he has different guests that came on there and spoke and talked about things. Helped us gain so much knowledge. If you wanted to pay $17, you could get more like on the inside, where you could actually go in and ask questions at the end of the sessions. So I just did the $13 one. I knew I gained knowledge with that. I didn't really have to engage and, do questions and all that. So the awesome thing is, because I work 5 days a week, he had it where we could go back and do the replay. He gave us homework and different little things to do. I think that class, there was like 40 or 50 of us in that we're all doing this. But then towards the 4th or 5th day, he advertised a 12-week course to go dive further into all of this, to break it down, to bring on guest speakers, and really just get us to where we know how to write songs, like how to form them, what's the different types and ways you can write songs, and how to record your music, how to put your songs to music, and how to develop it, how to record them, how to get them produced, how to release your own music, which I was so excited because the end result of that class was to get our own song produced totally. And for that, we submitted 2 or 3 songs, and they picked one. They told us which one they thought was the best, and then they helped us produce it. So like, I had 2 songs I'd already written before the class started. So I submitted 2 songs, and Because of You was the one I really hoped he'd choose. So I prayed. I'm like, God, whatever your will is, let him choose whatever song that you want him to choose. But God, I would love it if your will and if he lines up with mine, like what I want, what song I want. And so he did. That's the one he thought. He's like, I really like this song. And it's called Because of You. If you haven't heard it, you can go on my YouTube channel. Just type in Jaime Duane and then the word topic, and you can listen to it for free. If you want to listen on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, however you guys listen to music, you can do that. If you have a subscription, go ahead. You can also download it off of iTunes, Apple Music, whatever. And I would love for you to listen to it and just be encouraged. I did write a second song and released it right before Thanksgiving in 2024. So anyways, I want to tell you, I'm sorry if I go on and on a little bit, but I want to tell you how I do what I do. How I, the instruments, like the music equipment that it takes to do this, and how you guys, if you love music, and whether you play an instrument or maybe this inspires you to learn an instrument, you can do what I do. And once you get all the music equipment, it doesn't cost anything. It just costs your time and your energy. So, you have to have your heart for it. You're either all in or you're not. You don't take shortcuts. Luke talks about taking shortcuts. If you don't do the work, put the time in, you're not going to get everything out of it that you could. You're not going to learn and go as deep in it as you can, as you should. So after I had the guitar and I got the little keyboards and all that, in 2024, January, we got the opportunity to go down to Florida. Kevin's mom and stepdad helped us. Kevin and I drove. They have a condo in Bonita Springs, and they invited us to come down. We spent like a week there, and Kevin and I drove because, like, I'd never flown. It's not that I'm afraid of flying. It's just that we wanted to take our time, spend time together. Driving, we got lots of hours time together. We got to go and see different places along the way, and stay in hotels and just really, go places that I'd never been before. And so anyway, Sydney and Mackie flew, and Holden was a year old. And we just spent a lot of time there. We got to go to the beach, and we got to do different stuff. Sydney and I, Kevin's mom took us out for a girls' day, and we got our hair done, and it was just a lot of fun. And so Holden learned how to walk there while we were there. But on the way back, like, we came back on we started driving back on a Saturday, and we stayed and over by Atlanta, Georgia, stayed overnight, and then we were making the rest of the leg of our trip Sunday. It was a Sunday, right? So I'm like, oh man, we're going through Kentucky, we're going through Tennessee. Kentucky's known for their derby, horses, all this stuff. And I'm like, man, it'd be cool to go to like a place where there's like horses, or like a museum or something. Or so we started looking up on Google different things. We went to a couple things. Well, it was Sunday, so they were closed. And then I'm like, hey, what about like music stores and stuff, like just to go in and look around or whatever. So we went in Paducah, Kentucky. We stayed there, and then we drove back. Yeah, we drove back Sunday, got back home. But in Kentucky, in Paducah, we came across this amazing music store. It was owned, it was kept in the family, passed down from like grandfather to father, and then the son. And he was a Christian, and his wife was amazing. She wrote a book during COVID, and his daughter knows all kinds of instruments and teaches classes to kids and stuff. And his son helps him run the music store. And so we're looking around, and like, we kind of wanted to get Hadessa a ukulele. Well, we thought, well, Katie will kind of learn it first, and eventually maybe she can teach her or something. We found a ukulele. It didn't cost a lot, and Hadessa has like disability money, so it was like we got it with her money, her own money. But we're looking around, and I'm like, my keyboard that I had started kind of like messing up a little bit. One of the keys would stick, and it was on a major chord that I always played when I do my songs. So we're looking, and they had some really nice keyboards. And so, like this one, I told him I lead worship, I'm creating music on my own, and write songs and stuff, and I really need a better keyboard, but asked him how much it was. And I just love this. This is how God works, connecting us with this guy who happens to be a Christian, the one that owns it. He said he would give us a discount on it. And I don't recommend going into debt with credit cards, but this was a great investment. I mean, it is going to help me be able to do what I feel God's calling me to do. And so we got it. Came with a really nice hard case and everything. We had to fit it in the car with all of our luggage, and that was a challenge. We had to rearrange a bunch of stuff. But I got the keyboard. So that that helped start completing everything. Once I had the class with Luke, it was called Elevate Pro. He told us like all this other stuff that we need to have to do what we need to do. So he said, I had a microphone, but it wasn't a super high quality microphone, just a little cheap one, So I'm like, okay, I need to get a microphone. And at the time I had a credit card for, what's it called? not Griggs Music. That store I used to go to, and West Music bought it out, but the guy that worked there still got to stay. Guitar Center. Yeah, it's over on Elmore. So I had a credit card for there, and I went in and I'm telling them that hey, I'm writing songs, I'm making music, but I need to get this program for my computer. I need to get a better microphone. I want to get some headphones. So I got a microphone. The one I use, the brand is Shure, Shure. I think it's M7 is like the model number. It's a very nice microphone, and I had to get the cords that goes with it. They're like, you're gonna need an interface box. I'm like, what's that? Like, my older brother, he's passed away, but he played in a band. He played guitar like no other, and sang, and him and his band produced a couple CDs, and I was able to get those songs on a CD. So I'm so thankful that I got to do that before he passed, and have his music that I can listen to and carry and cherish in my heart. But he had all kinds of amplifiers. Oh, I did have a couple amplifiers already. But my brother, oh my gosh, he had so much music equipment. He had switchboards and interfaces and pedals and all these different things he could do with his guitars. And he had several guitars. He had all kinds of amplifiers. So anyway, they're like, you need an interface box. I'm like, okay. So they showed me what that was. And of course I went for a good quality one, but like the cheapest. Anyway, it's a little box. It has a lot of different adjustments. It's got 2 inputs. So you can plug a microphone and a keyboard in it at the same time. Now they have ones that have 4 and 5, like sophisticated ones that you can plug multiple instruments in at the same time. I'm like, you know what? I will make do with this, because really I can record a part on the keyboard and sing. And so I can record those tracks. I can record them separately, because those inputs, they're different channels. So I have like channel 1, channel 2, input 1, input 2. The output, I can run, it's a guitar cord. It's like 1/4-inch jack on each end. So I run a cord, plug it into the output, and then I can bring that around and plug it into my amplifier. So I get loud, I can hear it. Otherwise, I have this headphone jack. So once I got my microphone and everything at that trip to the Guitar Center, this was 2 years ago, I got these headphones, really nice headphones. The brand is Audio Technica. I don't know if this is backwards or whatever. Audio Technica. And that's the brand of headphones that I use. Okay. And then, so I got the interface box. I believe the program that I'm using to record my tracks and everything, I'm pretty sure it was free, and it came with the interface box. Like, I didn't have to pay for the program at all. And that's super amazing. You will need a decent sized computer with a lot of space, a lot of gigabytes and stuff, hard disk, all that. Anyway, you need a lot of memory and a lot of stuff, because the programs do take quite a bit of like processing data and stuff like that. So the program that I got, now I'm going to give you 3 names of, it's called a DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. So you're going to need that. You're going to need one of these computer programs. There's one called GarageBand. The one I have is called Ableton Live 11 Lite. There's newer versions of it, but mine does everything I want it to do. So, and there's so much about it. I'm still learning. Like, this thing is incredible. And I've had to go on YouTube and learn and type in that model, that, the name of it, and learn some stuff of how to do it. Like, you really got to research things to gain the knowledge that you need. And I think it comes with, a lot of these programs now, they don't necessarily come with a booklet anymore, like a paper booklet that tells you how to use it. You just get on there. When you download it, you just download, all the instructions and all that, troubleshooting things and how to do things. So I still have so much to learn and different things and things that come with the program that I can use. I just don't know how to do all that yet. So, but like I said, you can learn a little bit. It can be enough to do what you want to do. So that, and then the third one, there's one called Logic. So you'll need one of those digital audio workstation. You need one of those computer programs to be able to record your tracks, lay your music, lay your tracks, and to turn your song into a fully recorded thing with music and instruments. So then, within this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it works. Oh, the other thing I did was, they talk about how you should kind of do some soundproofing with your thing. So this is my basement. I've kind of created my own little studio in the basement. So, I ordered through Amazon, found a really good deal, and I got a couple packages or boxes. They're like soundproof, panels, and they're like a foam rubber kind of. They're about an inch thick or so, and they come with like these little double stick backing things that tabs that you can stick on. And then all three walls, I put them up, and then I thought it'd be cool. I wanted to kind of do some kind of design. So I found some fabric that has guitars, keyboards, and amplifiers and all that music stuff on their records and whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put this fabric, cut it in squares, measure it, whatever. And so I kind of put it on every other one. And then my two side walls here are just all with these plain black ones. And I don't have like the other wall. I don't have a doorway. It was just open because the other part of the basement is like the kids' toy room. There's a bed and a TV and everything over there. Right now, I just hung a big like a blanket. I made like a curtain. And so anyway, yeah, that's what I do. Because if you have a lot of music equipment, when you're recording and stuff, it'll ping off of things like music stands, anything metal. When you're recording, the sound can like ping, I call it ping off of things. And you don't get as good of a recording as what you could get. So that's one of the things I did in my studio here. I'm going to try to get this closer so I can kind of show you my digital audio workstation program. It's called Ableton Live Lite. So I'm going to kind of try to move this a little bit, get you a little closer to seeing my computer. So what it is, hang on one second. I gotta unplug my charger. I can't, that cord only reaches so far. And my phone's doing kind of crazy stuff here. I'm trying to, let me move it a little bit. Okay. Got a little bit straighter again. Okay, so this digital audio workstation is a computer program. Mine is called Ableton Live 11 Lite. So within this program, you have all these really neat things. You can so mine has 8 tracks. So when I lay my tracks, I usually do 2 keyboard tracks. One is just main keys, and then I don't have a bass guitar, and I don't know how to play a bass guitar. So I have bass setting on my keyboard. So I, use the different notes within the chords, and that's how I get the bass sound that's in my tracks. Then I lay 2 vocals. Usually I lay the keyboard track and a main vocal first. And what I do once I get all my tracks and music, all the instruments and everything, and lay those tracks, at the end, I go back and do another recording of my main vocal because, I want the best I can get it. It might take me 2, 3, 4 takes. The first thing I do, and 2, when I write the song, I get the melody, I get the music to it, then I got to go and figure out how to play the melody on my instruments to match what I sing, what I came up with. Well, God gives them to me. So I start messing around on a keyboard or my guitar, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, once in a while, the melody will not be really within a key. It's like between keys. So I may have to adjust it. I may have to up it or lower it to get it actually in a key that it makes sense. It sounds good and everything. But I also have to I have to make it so it's within my vocal range. And so I tend to sing a lot of songs more in alto, but I do have a big range, and I want to get better as a vocalist of writing and singing songs that show a wider range. Like Lauren Daigle, she can go low and she can go really high. She's got a great voice. She can go up into the falsettos. I'm trying to learn how to, when you go from like, so there's alto 1, alto 2, soprano 1, soprano 2. When you kick it up from like the alto to a soprano, or like up into a falsetto range, you have to really learn how to do that without like cracking or cutting out or sounding crazy. So that's one thing I really want to learn. I need to take some vocal classes, and like I said, YouTube's amazing. You can do stuff for free. You can learn so much. I praise God for YouTube. Anyway, so when you write the song and you get the melody and you're learning, you're playing it, you're figuring out how to play it on the guitar or keyboard or whatever, you have to decide the speed. Like, how fast do you want the song? Do you want it to be a faster song, upbeat? Do you want it to be a slower song? And so if you hop on and watch like one of my, I don't know, I might have, it's either the last post or a couple posts previously. Last night I uploaded, it was either last night, yeah, I uploaded my newest song, Better Off Your Way. And that's why I'm kind of telling you about how I do this, because I know there's a bunch of you guys out there that love music. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe this will help inspire you to learn one. And so you can create your own music. It's amazing. Like I said, save up. Once you get all the music equipment you need, it don't cost anything to do what I'm doing once you get everything you need. And now it costs to professionally get a song produced so that you can release it. For me, through that class I was telling you about at the beginning of this, that class that I took, I learned how to kind of mix and master and everything. But what they did with that song, Because of You, was the very first song I released. And they took our song. We could send in the chords. They wanted us to give them notes. So we had to figure out what instruments we wanted in our song. We got to choose like where in the song we want the instruments to be played. I decided with that song, I just wanted the intro to be keys, only the keyboard, and the outro at the end. Just something soft and beautiful. And so Luke had his own team of musicians, professional, like they've been producing music for years and years and years. So he had a keyboardist, he had a guy that played all the guitar parts, the bass, the rhythm guitar, the lead guitar, and then they had a keyboardist, and then Luke himself played the drums on our track. So we gave him our demos, right? All through the class. At the end, he taught us how to record our songs, make a demo, and then like how to save it and how to submit it and send it to him. We sent it to him, and then his musicians, they played the instruments, so we could tell them what instruments, where in the song we wanted the instruments to come in. And so it was so awesome. Like, I was just praising God, because this is what I've been wanting to do. This has been my dream. And so I don't know where God's going to take it, how big or small it's going to be. I don't know that I want to be a touring artist that, away from home all the time touring. But I love doing women's retreats. I would love to get into doing like youth retreats and stuff like that, being able to like lead worship and stuff, and even like a motivational speaker. I really would love to do something like that. So anyway, when you're starting out, like I said, once you get the melody, once you write your song and you kind of start learning it on an instrument, you get the chords put with it. First thing you do when you want to record, you got to figure out the speed. So if you want it faster or slower. So on my program, I hope you can see, it's probably, you'll have to zoom in or something. I don't even know if you can zoom in while you're watching the video, but I have 8 different tracks. That's what my program comes with. So on this song, I just uploaded the other day, Better Off Your Way. I have, what do I have? 7 tracks? No, I actually used all 8, I think. Let me see. I put on the description of the video, I have a kick drum, right? That's your big main drum, right? Your kick drum, that bass drum sound. And then I have the main keyboard, the main keys. I have another drum track, and that is the snare drum, the toms, and the cymbals. I recorded them all as one track. And guys, like I said, guitar is my main instrument. I am not professional at any of these instruments. I can teach you chords on the guitar. I can teach you how to play and learn chords enough that you can play songs, right? I don't know the technical stuff. I don't know individual notes. I don't know how to play lead guitar. You're like, what? How did you play lead guitar in your song? Well, I just thought during the song, I kept listening to it. I'm like, oh, this would sound pretty good. Like a little bit of a lead guitar in the beginning, in the intro and the outro. And then somewhere in the middle of the song, like on the chorus or, whatever, the bridge or whatever. I'm like, that would sound neat. So I just picked up the guitar. I start playing different strings, different frets, sliding my fingers up and down. I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty good. Like it's right on the same, I'm in the same key. I'm playing in the same chord, the same notes that are within the chords. And so I just started trying different things, sliding my fingers up the guitar and trying the bottom 2 strings, the E string. Let's see, every artist does guitar before eating. That's how the strings on the guitar. The top one is the lower E string. A is the next string. D is the 3rd string. G is the 4th string. B is the 5th string. You're getting to the smaller strings. And the last string is also E on the guitar, right? So your E string and your B string, those are the higher sounds that you get from a guitar. So when you slide your fingers up the neck, when you get really close to where the main bass part of your guitar is, when you slide up to where the neck ends on your guitar and you're playing those strings, that is like really high. That's where the really high sounds are on electric guitar, on a lead guitar, on those parts. So I just started doing stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds neat. Oh, I like this. So then I'm like, well, how did I get that? Guys, I had to memorize where I put my fingers and how I made that sound, right? So, like I said, I don't know the individual notes. I don't know where I was placing my fingers, like what note that was. And I just slid up. I'm like, okay, on the frets of a guitar, you have dots, or you have like these little lines between the frets, okay? Your fret is 2 lines, and some of them have dots every other fret or whatever, right? So I learned that some of the guitar parts on the lead guitar that I was playing was like every other fret as I slid my finger up and down and whatever. So I just messed around, and then I had to memorize, right? So what I do is I record without doing any kind of video. I record each track. And then at the end, I'm like, okay, I got it sounding the way I want. Now I'm going to do video, right? I use my phone. I turn my keyboard around. I videotape that part. Then what I do is I run this recording from my computer and that interface box. I run the sound out of it and I plug it into my amplifier. And then, so what I do is I'm playing the song through the amplifier. You're seeing me record, you're seeing the video of me singing the parts, right? So I'm playing along with the song as it's playing through my amplifier. I go back and I'm playing the instruments along with it, right? And that's what I'm videotaping. That's what you're seeing. Well, I had to do some of these video parts multiple times because I messed up or I missed a word or said something wrong or I got off the beat. And so this is what very time consuming. Like one of my days off on a Wednesday one time, it took me a month to do this song. I started writing it on the 31st of December. I finished it on January 4th, and then putting all this music together, recording it. Like I got so mad at myself on the drums. I was so frustrated trying to do the drum parts. I kept recording and I kept messing up. Oh my gosh. So I spent 6 hours one day. I mean, from like probably 1 or 2 o'clock all the way up to like 10 o'clock. I guess that's 8 hours. But I don't recommend sitting in the same position for a very long time. Like your circulation won't be that great. If your head's down a lot or whatever, your neck's going to start hurting, probably your shoulders. You should get up, walk around, take a break, which I did. I got something to eat. I went to the bathroom a few times. I hope this isn't like super close, but anyways, I just want you to see the keyboard as I talk, or my computer as I talk about the program. So I worked on these drum tracks for a numerous amount of time, right? So I work 5 days a week full time. I make sure I'm spending time with family, and we go to church on Sundays. And so I have to try to fit this all in, right? Balance your time wisely. I did a thing when I was in college. I did a speech on balancing your time wisely. It was really cool. I had a little block of wood that I put a nail in it. And one time at school, somebody showed us how to balance. This is so crazy, you guys. You take 2 nails and you lay them on top of this block of wood. And then you take a nail and you go in between those 2 and you angle it so that the head of the nail is resting on the first one that's close to you. And then you angle the other nail so that the head of it is resting on this second one, right? You do that on each end, and you can literally get it to balance on this little wood beam, little chunk of block of wood with 1 nail driven in the center, 2 nails going across, resting on that, and then 2 nails on each end. And so I used that in my illustration of balancing your time wisely, and each nail represented something in my life, right? Hobby, work, family, God, whatever. I can't remember all of them, but so anyway, back to trying to balance my time, right? So I make time to work on my music. There are days where I'm at work. I'm halfway through my shift. I'm so excited. I'm thinking about everything I want to do, and I want to come home and work on my music. And I eat lunch. I get about 2 o'clock. I work till 4, 7 to 4. I get it about 2 o'clock. I have 1 break left. Get down to my last 2 hours. I'm starting to get tired. When I get off work, I get in the car, I start it, I warm it up, and I sit there and my body just relaxes. It's like, oh, my day's over. I'm done working. I come home and I'm exhausted. So many nights I'm just exhausted. And I'm like, God, please give me energy. Give me long-lasting, sustaining energy that will take me all the way to bedtime, because there's so many things I want to do when I get home and need to do. And so, like I said, this took me over a month to make this last song I did. And I got so upset on the drum parts. I couldn't get them to sound right. I couldn't get the drum roll to sound just right. And I was like, ugh. The one I went upstairs and I just told Kevin, I said, I don't know if I'm going to finish this song. I'm just so like discouraged and frustrated, and I just can't get it the way I want it. Guys, like I said, I don't play the drums professionally. I can't teach you anything technical how to play the drums. God's given me talents and the gift of music. I can pick up on music. I can play along with a song. I know rhythm and beats, and like, I can dance. Not that I'll ever do that for you, but I know how to get down. I know how to move, And so that's why God, has me doing music, because I love it. And I just want to share it. And so I just tried different things on these drums. I probably tried a good 6 or 7 different times, different settings, different nights of trying to get these drum tracks laid. And I decided, so first of all, the speed of the song, I have it at 94 beats per minute. When I took that class 2 years ago, I'm like, what the heck is beats per minute? Like, I didn't know. BPM, what's that mean? Beats per minute. You have to decide the tempo of your song, like the speed of it. You want it fast, you want it medium, you want it slow. How do you want it? So it's like a metronome, and it's built into this program. So you set it, and you can start out with 100 beats per minute or something. Put it on 100, click, 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 click. So you just keep upping it to you get the clicks like the speed of what you want it. So I'm like upping it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, that's like trying to play the keys really fast to keep up with it. And then because I have the chords to my song, it's all laid out. It's all written down. I have my music stand. I have the song up there. And I'm like, okay, so how fast can I play it? Okay, I need to slow down. Like I can't go from that key to those chords to this chord that fast, right? So I got it down to where I'm like, okay, I can play this. I like this rhythm. I like the speed, whatever. So I clicked it in. So that song is 94 beats per minute, the Better Off Your Way that I just posted last night. And so I got the tempo down, and then I started laying. I laid the keyboard track, played it all the way through. I sing it with the microphone as I'm playing the keyboard. I have both of those chords, those instruments, plugged into this interface box. The interface box plugs into the computer. I pulled up the program, Ableton Live 11 Lite. Okay. You guys can get Logic, or you can get, Guitar GarageBand. Okay. That's GarageBand. You have to have a program to record it onto. So everything goes right into the computer. It just records it right into the computer. And that's how you get such a quality, good sounding recording. If you just do it with your phone or you do it through an amplifier, you're not going to get that good of a quality of a recording. So I got the beats per minute. I started laying the tracks. I lay the keyboard and the main vocal at the same time, right? So I have 8 tracks. So you have an input 1 and input 2. So I could run my keyboard into input 2, run the microphone into input 1. So as I'm recording, I set input 1, I hit the end, and that's, you hit the little record button. Then you can hit control and hit the next record button. So both of those are ready to record, right? Up here, have play, stop, and record. So when I want to start recording, I go up here and hit the record button, and then it starts recording these tracks right here, right? So I had my keys, I had my main vocal with the microphone. So I recorded those two together and played it, and I have it where I could hear the clicks, 94 beats per minute. Click, 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 or whatever, however. That's the tempo, that's the speed, right? For that song. And then what did I lay next? I think I tried laying the drums next. I either did the drums next or the bass keys, right? The bass sound that you'll always hear in my songs, because I don't play bass guitar, I don't have one. That sound comes from my keyboard. So I said this all earlier, but I have a bass setting to set for bass. And then I find the notes, the chords or whatever, I find the notes. And as it's playing, as I'm recording it, I go back and I play what I got so far, right? And as I'm playing, I play along with that. I record the next track, put in the bass. Then I think I did the drums. The lead guitar parts that you see in here, that was the very last thing that I laid, the very last track. Actually, yes. Then I went back and laid a background vocal. That's my vocal. I sang along with myself. And when I did that song for that class, the very first song they helped produce it with all his own musicians, professional musicians, played the different parts that I wanted them to play after I sent the demo in. They made a music track, and then they had us record final vocals, right? Just get it the best we can get it and send that in. And then they put our vocals with the music on that song. My good friend Babette Howard from Calvary Church, we used to go there, whatever, but I met her through Catherine Bond, the Festival of Praise concerts down at the river. Met her. She's an amazing singer. And I said, hey, you want to sing on my song? Anyway, so she sang backup on that one. Anyway, for the other songs, so this one, I sang my own background vocal. And so I recorded that, and that was after I laid all the music tracks. I went back because I wanted to get the best vocal I could get. Really cool thing about it is you can copy and paste. You can split tracks in places. You can delete parts out you don't want. So on my vocal tracks, okay, I was going to tell you, so on my microphone, I have what I use on my microphone when I'm recording the vocal is called a pop filter, right? So it's this little, like, you could look at it like a splatter guard or whatever. And it hooks right onto the microphone, screws on there. You place it in front of the microphone. And what that is, like, when you're singing words that have a P or like S or whatever, especially P's, that breath of air that comes out when you're saying the P, it pops, sometimes a microphone will pick that up. So this helps filter that. It helps it not get on there, not go on your track. It's really awesome. I got that on Amazon. That wasn't very expensive at all. It actually came as a 2-pack. So that's a great thing to get eventually. Like, save up your money. My drums, my electric drums, I got a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, this is how God works, you guys. So I met a customer at Walmart. He came through my line at the money service, right? We started talking. I don't even know how we got into the conversation, but he was telling me about some health issues. I was telling him about my husband's health issues. We in the conversation was like, hey, I'll be praying for you, hang in there. And so over time, he came in again. We talked some more, and we became friends on Facebook. And then he noticed I was like in the music and doing music and stuff. He goes, hey, if you ever need any equipment, he's like, I have this, I was setting up a studio in my basement, but I live in, my wife and I live in our, I think it's her parents or his parents' basement. Like, they have the whole basement level of the house. And so he said, oh, they said it was too loud. Like, there's no way I could just do that at their house. So he's like, I'm selling this equipment. I'm like, what? He starts telling me everything he's got. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got a drum set? They're electric. I'm like, I don't know. I just messed around on drums. I would play along with the song. I could do some drum rolls and sound pretty cool and just mess around until I get some really awesome sounds and stuff out of them. But I don't know nothing technical about how to play drums, right? It's just all by ear. Like, God's just given me a gift of picking up on music, listening by ear, And so anyway, I asked him what he wanted, and he told me the price, and I was like, okay. I was like, I don't have the money, like, for it right now, but is there any way you'll hold it for me? Like, can I do a layaway plan, sort of? Like, can I make payments on it? He's like, sure, yeah. I mean, I can do that. So what did it take me? 2 or 2.5 months? Out of every paycheck, I would give him some money, and he was actually going to let me have them at my house before I paid him off. I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel right about that. I'm like, you just hang on to it. Once I pay, get them paid for, then yeah. So it was so exciting, you guys. God is so amazing at divine connections. So I got the drums, got it all set up. Like, oh, this is cool. Now I can actually add drums in my song. You know what I was doing before that? I was using the percussion, the keys on my keyboard to get the drums out of it, right? So you got, push one key down, it's a bass. Push another key, it's a tom. Push another key, it's the lower tom. Push another key, it's a cowbell. Push another key, it's a cymbal, a crash cymbal, a hi-hat cymbal. And that's how I used to do my songs. The drum parts were all from my keyboard. So now I'm like, yeah, thank you, Jesus. Now I have some drums. I can lay my own tracks and all that. So the song that I posted yesterday, Better Off Your Way, I kept redoing the drums. I kept redoing them. But you know what? Here's a cool thing about it. You get a really good drum roll. You're like, oh, that sounds good. Boom. I sealed that deal. That one's going right there. Right where the, right where the verse changes to the chorus or whatever. I usually intro my songs with I use a crash cymbal, but I can fade it in and out. So it just kind of fades in gradually. I can stretch it out however long. Well, that kind of depends on when I hit it with the drumstick. Depends on how hard I hit it as to how long the sound carries out, right? So once I plug it in there on my track, I can decide how I want it to fade, right? How I want it to sound and how long I want it to go. So then, when I laid this drum track, I just tried different things. So I already had the keys laid. I already had my main vocal laid. I think I had the bass keys laid too. So I had the kick drum. All right. I had the kick drum. So actually kick drum was the first thing I laid because I wanted the kick drum to be right on time with the metronome clicks, right? As I was telling you, 94 beats per minute is the speed of the song. I made the kick drum land on each click of the metronome, right? It's got a built-in metronome. Each click, I made the kick drum. Boom, boom, boom. And that is so that your song stays consistent all the way through. You don't speed up and get off tempo or slow down and get off tempo. You want it to just be consistent all the way through. So I did that. That was after I did the keys and the vocal. I laid the drum track, went back, laid the bass keys. The last thing I did was guitar. Once I got the whole full music track laid, then I went in and redid my main vocal, try to get the best run at it I could get. And then I went back and laid the background vocal, right? So the harmony, right? That's what background vocal is, the harmony. Anybody that don't know a lot of music terms. So I had to learn all that. I just thought, oh, it's harmony. It's called a BGV, background vocal. Did all that. So I was telling you, so the drums, I'd just play different parts and I kept messing up. I start recording it, da-da-da, okay, da-da-da. I get past like the first verse, get into the chorus or something, I'd mess up. Delete, go back, try it again. Well, after so many tries, what I would do is I'd have multiple tracks. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to delete that whole drum track, the first one, because it had some good parts in there. Okay, so I'll just hop down one track and try it again. Well, I kept getting enough parts in the right places to get a full drum track. Finally, okay? I about gave up, said heck with it. I was going to just not even finish the song. I was so frustrated. I spent hours, various days, like I said, I have a full-time job, balancing that with family, work, family, church, and everything, reading the Bible, whatever, praying, spending time with God, and then music. So that's why it took me a month. I'm hoping I can start getting songs out in less time than a month. A couple weeks maybe at the most would be great. God told me this year not to do so many covers of other people's songs, just get my own music out there, the songs that he's going to give me and stuff. So I'm like, yes, Lord, yes, I want to do that. Get it out there to you guys so you can, give me some feedback. And if it touches your life, I'd love to know. If it encourages you, I'd love to know. Anyways, so what's next? Oh, so you have dead airspace, right? So when I'm recording my vocal, if the music doesn't start for like 4 measures or whatever, then that's just dead airspace. So I go back and I split and I delete the parts I don't need in between lyrics. So if I sing the first line of the verse, okay, I'm going to take a breath of air. At some point, I got to breathe between the lyrics, right? So I take a breath of air and then I sing the next line. Well, you can hear, if you isolate all, you take all the tracks and you click them so you can't hear them, and then you isolate it, right? And you just individually just play one track. When I play back my vocal track, you can actually hear the breaths of air when I'm taking a breath. So I can split in between, like I'll show you here. I don't know if you can see this because my computer's probably back too far, but where's my main vocal? Main keys, lead guitar, background vocal, main vocal. So I'm just going to slide this over, show you my main vocal, right? It doesn't come in until 14 seconds, I think. Anyway, when the vocal starts, because I have the intro, the music at the beginning. So you'll see these vocal parts, and then see that there's an area where it's split. So this is pink. My vocal track is pink. There's a split area where there's nothing. That's where I took a breath of air, and you could hear it. If you isolate that main vocal track, you could hear every breath. It doesn't pick up the P sounds because, like I said, I use that pop filter on my microphone, so it helps to get that out, so you can't hear it. Muffle it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you can't hear it. So anyway, all these different places along here where there's nothing. So after I do that, I go back and I play it. I'm like, woohoo! You can't hear my breath of air. So I did that with the main vocal, and I did that with the background vocal. After I recorded it, go back, edit it, right? Edit. When you get all your tracks laid, you get your vocals, then you got to decide what volume do you want each track. So on your recording, what do you want your listeners to hear most? Like, I like drums, right? And I like bass. Okay. So I think on my song, and you always, like the professional friend that I have who mixes and masters songs, has done it for years. He said, you want your vocals to come through. Your song, the lyrics in your song and your song, that's the most important thing, right? You want the listeners to understand your words, what you're singing about, what you're saying. And so your main vocal should kind of be louder. I mean, you want them to hear it good, right? So then I decided I don't really want the keys to be the loudest of the instruments. I kind of want the drums to come through. So I had 2 drum tracks as I was showing you. I have my bass, like my kick drum. That's that bass sound, the beat. And then I have a track with the snare, the toms, and the cymbals. So I'm like, well, as I was editing the volumes of that, I kind of want the kick drum to be a little bit louder than the cymbals and everything, but I want the snare drum to be heard a lot too. So I made the drums kind of like the next loudest, I think, after the vocal, and then, the keys, then the bass keys. I really have to listen, right? I listen to the song over and over and over again to see, is that what I want it to sound like? Oh, I'm like, I can barely hear the lead guitar parts. Let me turn that up just a tad bit. Or I can't hear the bass enough. Let me turn that up a tad bit. That part is called mixing and mastering, right? Once you get the final recording, you're done. That's called a demo. You have just produced a demo. So you go in here, you save it, put it, it saves it as either a WMV or an MP3. You can even save it as both of them. WMV is the best quality of your recording. When I had to send off my songs to Ricky, he's the one that mixed and mastered, they told us the exact format and how many, oh my gosh, hertz? Is that what we call it? Hertz? The loudness and quality. You want the best quality. So it was like 48 hertz or whatever. I sent them the wave format, and then they took it and did all that, mix and master, right? So on that song, Because of You, the first one I released, that was on my birthday, August 11th, and I did 24. And then I went on to do another song and released before Thanksgiving called Thank You, Mommy. If you guys haven't heard it, I was telling earlier, you can go on YouTube, type in Jaime Duane Topic. It's Jaime. And that will let you go in and listen to my 2 songs for free. If you have Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, however you listen to your music, you can go on there and find me and find my songs. So I would love for you to stream them. And I hope, let me know, if you do stream them, let me know what you think and if it touches your heart at all. And so yeah, God's been giving me songs. I'm really hoping and praying to get another one this week. I just want to keep working on them, keep getting them. I don't really like winter because a lot of my inspiration for writing comes when I go out to parks and down along the river. I go out for a motorcycle ride, take my backpack, my notebook, my Bible, my pen, a bottle of water, some snacks, and I just, sit out at a picnic table and look across Westlake, whatever, different places I go, and I just pray. And sometimes I'll look up a song, somebody else's song. I just love Christian music and stuff. Our church plays amazing songs, and I'll look them up, listen to them. I don't listen to K-Love and Air One a lot anymore. If you guys are radio listeners, I would highly encourage you to go to Air One or K-Love. And, times when I was listening, because now I listen to Spotify. I get all my music, artists I like, and I make playlists, and I just connect it Bluetooth with my car and play it through my radio. So Air One and K-Love used to do a 30-day challenge. If you guys don't listen to a lot of Christian music, I would just encourage you, just go like a week. Okay, maybe not even a month. Just go a whole week. Don't listen to any secular music. Just try listening to K-Love. Or you can get on Spotify and just type in Christian music or something like that, and they'll come up with playlists, Christian music. Guys, there are so many genres of music out there within the Christian music, right? There's pop, there's rap, R&B, country, then there's like worship music, and you can find all kinds of songs and artists that you love the beats to and like the music, right? And I just want to say about that is those songs, Christian songs, they have encouraging, positive, uplifting lyrics. I did a thing one time, and I was going to go more into it, Journey with Jaime, and just talk about songs. I was going to share a song and talk about the lyrics and the meaning of the song, and really invite you guys to ask yourselves, are the songs I listen to, are they meaningful to my life? Do they add to my life anything? Do they help change my mood in a good way? Do they get me to think about positive things? Like, do they point me to God, or do they point me to alcohol, sex, drugs, smoking? Do they have foul language and curse words? Like, we don't have to use that in songs or conversations. What does a curse word add to anything, a topic of what we're talking about? I think people like to, when they curse, it's like, okay, maybe you're super mad, and those words, I can't say that they don't pop into my mind. And I've done stuff and had a word pop out. Sometimes they just pop out, and I'm like, okay, Jaime, that wasn't godly. I mean, hit my head on the stupid refrigerator when I'm getting in there. I don't know. A lot of times they pop in my head, but I'm able to control it and keep my mouth shut. But I sin and make mistakes just like everybody else. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to listen to songs that have all kinds of curse words. They're degrading. Have you ever heard? Okay, I don't purposely listen to music that has curse words and talks about crazy subjects, but all you gotta do is go to the grocery store, go to Walmart, walk through the parking lot, and somebody's got their window down, playing these. They want to hear, the windows are rattling. They got their bass, up, and you'll hear all kinds of stuff, right? And that's a public place. Children are walking with their parents and through the parking lot. Anyway, that's just my take. I've heard songs like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, they're saying the B word, calling women names, and it's degrading, like stuff like sexist and racist, and I mean, just not encouraging. I mean, that's crazy. One thing that I'm just appalled by it. I love people of every religion, culture, background, whatever sex, whatever you identify as, whatever color you are. I'm not perfect at loving people like Jesus, but I try, right? I mean, people can get on our nerves. They can say things that are discouraging. I try not to judge, right? I'm not perfect at living like Jesus does, but I try my best, right? And if I fail, I try to do better the next day. Every day, God's mercies are new. Every day is a new day. Start over, right? Try to be better, do better, say better things, act better than you did the previous day. Really, that's what it's all about. I call it perfect moments. We're not perfect, but we can have perfect moments. And my desire, my goal is to have more perfect moments where I'm saying and doing the right thing, exactly what God wants me to do and say. And yeah, that's what I want to do. But you don't have to use curse words and all kinds of stuff in your music to sound cool. People need uplifting music that is going to enhance their life, encouraging towards things that are healthy and good and people loving and stuff like that. I mean, point people to God. That's my purpose that's why I feel called to do Christian music, not to do secular music. Now, I grew up a country girl, so I used to listen to a lot of country music. My dad, we had a little family band, living room band, and we played a lot of country music. And my brothers got into like AC/DC and Motley Crue and Metallica, Great White, Chicago, Journey. I could go on and on. Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac, Kentucky Headhunters, like all these country stuff. We played a lot of different music growing up, and I do like country. There are a lot of positive country songs out there with encouraging lyrics. You got Carrie Underwood. And there's so many others. I can't think of all their names. Cody Johnson. I don't know. All the ones that have really great songs. But anyway, I just want to show you guys and tell you, you can do all these things. You may have to save up to get your instruments, to get all your music equipment that you need. But once you have it, I mean, just go for it. Just write songs, pray about it. I pray about it. God gives me songs all the time. Sometimes they pop in my head while I'm at work. I'm like, what the heck? I got to try to remember this so I can hurry up and write it down on my break or my lunch, or like, God, please help me remember that. And then, yeah, I might have to pull my phone out real quick and like record something, how it goes. If I get the melody, most of the time when I write songs, I get the lyrics and the melodies at the same time. It's really cool. I love it. I have to hurry up, record it, sing it into my phone. Otherwise, I just look at my page and it's like, okay, it's just lyrics. I don't remember how it goes. Then I come home, got to figure out how to play along with my melody that I came up with. Like, how do I play that? What chords am I in? What am I even playing, you know? And then I do that. So I'm sorry, I've rambled and rambled and rambled. But, you know, take your time watching it. Sit down and have a snack, get a drink. If you want to watch part of it now, watch part of it tomorrow. But I think it will really encourage you. I know some parts I might have, you know, explained it twice or something, repeated myself. But I haven't got on here for a long time. So sometimes I pre-record my videos before I put them out there. Because I'm like, oh, if I do something stupid, if I look a certain way or something wrong or something, I got to sneeze or something. I'm like, I don't want to put that on there. Guys, we don't have to try to do stuff perfectly and not make mistakes and whatever. We're human, right? We just show everybody else we're human. So anyway, love you guys, all you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your love, encouragement, prayers, and support.